Hello, and welcome to Stories with Mike. Tonight, let's settle in for a cozy bedtime tale called The King and the Brave Knight. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get our daily story updates. Once upon a time, nestled between rolling green hills and sparkling rivers, lay a beautiful kingdom. But this peaceful land was under a dark shadow, threatened by a fierce dragon whose fiery breath scorched the fields and whose roar echoed through the valleys. The kingdom was ruled by a man named King Roland. He was a good and wise king, but fear for his people had begun to cloud his judgment. He watched his subjects live in constant terror, and his heart ached with worry. The kingdom's harvest was failing, trade had stopped, and the laughter of children was rarely heard in the streets anymore. The king knew he had to do something, and he had to do it fast. In his grand throne room, surrounded by worried advisers, King Roland made a decision. He would call upon the bravest knight in all the land, a man whose name was whispered with reverence and awe, Sir Cedric. Sir Cedric was the very picture of a hero. He was tall and strong, with a kind heart and a spirit as unbreakable as the steel of his sword. He was known throughout the kingdom and beyond for his unmatched bravery and unwavering courage. Stories of his daring feats were told around every hearth, how he had single-handedly defended a village from a horde of goblins, how he had rescued a lost child from the treacherous Darkwood forest. Sir Cedric had never, ever backed down from a fight, and he certainly wasn't going to start now. When the royal summons arrived, Sir Cedric rode immediately to the castle. He knelt before King Roland, his armor gleaming in the torchlight. "Your Majesty," he said, his voice steady and calm, "I have come. How may I serve you and our kingdom?" King Roland looked at the knight, a flicker of hope in his tired eyes. "Sir Cedric," the king began, his voice heavy, "a dragon plagues our land. It burns our crops and frightens our people. I need you to face this beast and restore peace to our kingdom." Sir Cedric stood tall. "I will not fail you, my king," he declared. "I will face this dragon for the honor of our kingdom and the safety of our people." But the king's fear, a seed of doubt in his mind, had grown into a thorny vine. He worried that even Sir Cedric, as brave as he was, might not be enough to defeat such a monstrous creature. In his desperation, the king made a decision he would soon regret. He decided to hire a band of mercenaries, skilled but ruthless warriors who fought only for gold. "Sir Cedric," the king announced, "I have hired these men to aid you. Their numbers and strength will surely help us succeed." Sir Cedric looked at the grim-faced mercenaries, their eyes glinting with greed, and felt a sense of unease. He believed in honor and loyalty, values that these hired swords seemed to lack. He tried to voice his concerns, saying, "Your Majesty, true strength comes from the heart, not from a coin purse. I fear these men are not to be trusted." However, King Roland, blinded by his anxiety, did not listen. He showered the mercenaries with gold and jewels, promising them even greater riches if they helped defeat the dragon. The mercenaries accepted the king's offer with wide, greedy smiles. They pledged their loyalty with grand words, but their promises were as hollow as a drum. They had no love for the kingdom or its people. They only saw an opportunity to enrich themselves. The king, relieved to have more soldiers, placed his trust in them, believing his wealth could buy their allegiance and secure his kingdom's safety. It was a costly mistake. As the day of the battle approached, Sir Cedric prepared himself. He sharpened his sword, polished his shield, and spoke to his loyal steed Valor. He felt the weight of the kingdom on his shoulders, but his spirit was resolute. Meanwhile, the mercenaries plotted. They saw the king's fear and the kingdom's vulnerability not as a cause to fight for, but as a chance to seize power and riches. The night before the planned attack on the dragon's lair, they made their move. While the castle slept, the mercenaries betrayed the king's trust. They overpowered the royal guards, stormed the treasury, and began looting the castle. their laughter echoing cruelly through the halls. The kingdom was thrown into chaos. The very people hired to protect it were now tearing it apart from within. News of the betrayal reached Sir Cedric just as he was about to set out. He saw the smoke rising from the castle and heard the cries of distress. His heart burned with a righteous anger. The dragon was a threat, yes, but the immediate danger was the treachery that had infected the heart of the kingdom. Without a moment's hesitation, Sir Cedric knew what he had to do. He turned Valor away from the path to the dragon's lair and galloped back towards the castle, his sword drawn and his resolve like iron. He was one knight against a small army of mercenaries, but his courage gave him the strength of 10 men. Sir Cedric burst through the castle gates like a storm. The mercenaries, caught off guard by his sudden return, were stunned. They had underestimated the knight's loyalty and his fierce dedication. Sir Cedric fought with a fury they had never seen. His sword was a blur of silver, clashing against the mercenaries' blades. He was more than just a skilled fighter. He was a symbol of hope for the terrified castle staff and guards who rallied behind him. One by one, he disarmed the mercenaries, his movements precise and powerful. He didn't fight with hatred, but with a deep love for his home and his king. Seeing their leader fall and their ranks breaking, the remaining mercenaries lost their nerve. They dropped their stolen loot and fled from the castle, disappearing into the night like the cowards they were. Sir Cedric had single-handedly driven them away, saving the kingdom from their greed. With the mercenaries gone, a weary but triumphant Sir Cedric stood in the now quiet castle courtyard. King Roland emerged, his face a mixture of shame and immense gratitude. He looked at the chaos the mercenaries had caused, and then at the loyal knight who had saved them all. In that moment, the king learned a profound and humbling lesson. He realized that true loyalty, selfless sacrifice, and genuine bravery are treasures that cannot be bought with gold or silver. They are virtues that come from the heart, and they are worth more than all the riches in the world. He had tried to buy security, but had only invited treachery. True security, he now understood, was earned through trust and honor. The story of Sir Cedric's bravery spread throughout the land, but this time it was different. It wasn't just a tale of a knight fighting a monster. It was the story of how loyalty and courage triumphed over greed and betrayal. Inspired by Sir Cedric, the people of the kingdom found their own courage. United, they worked together to face the dragon. They built clever traps and defenses, and with Sir Cedric leading the charge, they managed to drive the dragon away from their lands, not with brute force alone, but with cleverness and unity. Peace and prosperity returned to the kingdom, brighter and stronger than before.